Before I get started, I do want to say that this video is really just a story that I'm going to tell a little bit about my history, a little bit about what just happened that I just found out. It's probably not going to be a video that, I don't know, is of huge help to anybody, but if you've lost somebody recently, this might help you out. The other day, on Saturday, I went to, my dad's company was having this picnic, and it's my father's brother's company. So I decided to go because everybody knows who I am. And I was talking to somebody. I used to work at this camera store. I'm really into cameras. I used to work at this camera store, and I was talking to somebody that I used to work with. And we were just, talking about things and everything like that. And I kind of went on my way, and my father and I ate, and they were demonstrating these animals. And I'm like, I'm not really too interested in this. So I decided to go back to this woman that I used to work with, and I talked to her and I asked her about this girl that I used to have quite a history with. But we had a falling out in like 2021, 2022, somewhere in there. And she just looks at me and she's like, I said to her, have you spoken to so-and-so lately? And she's like, well, that'd be a little difficult. And I said, why? And she's like, because she's dead. I'm like, what? This girl was 8 years younger than me. And I said, no, that can't be. I said, her family actually owns a couple of funeral homes. Maybe she was just talking about, I don't know, something with the funeral homes, but she wasn't. I looked up the obituary and she actually has passed away. And when I first heard the news, it really didn't faze me. I kind of started thinking about like all the history that her and I had together and everything that we did together and everything like that. And it was this picnic thing or whatever you want to call it was at the zoo. So my father and I started walking around the zoo, and he could tell that I just really was not there. And it really started like dawning on me that she was gone. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And the stupid reasons that we weren't talking to each other. And then I started like just living out like all the things that her and I did together. And it's crazy to me to watch kind of all of this unfolding and everything that happened and like the huge onslaught of emotions that I actually had when I got home. And so I guess I wanted to talk about it. I already made this video, but unfortunately the audio was so bad I have to remake it. And the first one was so good. But before I really get into this, I do maintain the fact that I still to this day think that the day we're going to leave here is known before we get here. And everything we do leading up to that is already known that we're going to do that. God is omnipresent, and he would obviously know everything that we were going to do and how we were going to do it, when we were going to do it, and everything like that. And then if you read, actually, it's behind me, the Apocrypha, which is mentioned in the Bible like 70 to 80 times. So it's quite a bit in there. It's tied in. They talk about there's this angel that was literally given a tablet and told to write out every single human story that was going to happen before they even got here, before the earth was even formed. So as far as I know I've mentioned this in videos before, as far as free will, I don't know how much we have. I think the only free will that we really have is to believe in whether God and Jesus are a thing or not. That's just me. I could be wrong. And I don't want to go claiming that I'm 100% right on this, because I don't want to lead anybody astray or down, the wrong path or anything like that. That's just something that I believe. But back to this person. So I started having like all of these, like, really, you want to do what you're here to do before it's too late. Like, I really think that a lot of things like this will trigger us, right? Like, you might be in this dead end job. You hate this job. You can't stand this job. And, but then you'll see somebody pass away, quote, too early. And then you start thinking, and it might actually trigger you to go actually do what you're supposed to or become the person that you're supposed to. It might trigger that. It might trigger some kind of an emotion. For me, it kind of just turned into like, I cannot believe how bizarre this year has been. And to get this news, and I think even the stranger news to this whole thing was the fact that her wake, I'd assume most people watching this would know what a wake is, was on my birthday last year. And she was buried on the anniversary of my grandfather dying. It's like, and he was buried at the same funeral home, or had his wake, at the same funeral home that she had her wake at, because her family owns it. And I'm like, wow. I just cannot believe that. I mean, she was 8 years younger than me. Now, she did have a ridiculous amount of tattoos. And I've always thought that tattoos, I mean, that's a lot of dye and ink and everything being forced into your cells. It seems like it's not great. It seems like it's not the greatest idea in the world. And if you have a lot of tattoos, that might really cause a lot of issue. But, you know, I don't know. I don't have any proof to that. I haven't looked it up. I'm not going to, because tattoos are not my thing. Which is ironic, because the studio that I photographed her in was mostly people with tattoos and like vintage clothing and stuff like that. And that leads me back to the other thing of actually Friday, before I found this out, I had this thought. I actually pulled him up. I'm not going to show him because she was a very private person and probably wouldn't want me to do it. But I pulled up 3 photographs that I took of her, a couple, and I think one of them in my studio and 2 outside, that I was going to send her Saturday, and say, you know, try to make amends with her. I cannot believe, and everybody's like, oh, you're making that up. I don't think so. I wish I was. I wish this weird stuff didn't always happen. But no, I'm not making that up. And I sent it to a couple of people. I said, I can't believe that she's gone. Like, this is crazy. I mean, her and I were planning on moving to Seattle back in the day, like in 2009, I believe it was, together. But then the whole thing with my ex happened, and it's a huge, long story that I'm not going to tell. And that never happened. And it kind of just caused a lot of different things that kind of eroded whatever was there. And wow, it's crazy to me, just to watch everything unfold in life, and this year in particular is just like, I wake up and I'm like, what's next? You know, like, I pray every morning. I'm like, keep me safe. I actually say Psalm 91 every morning behind me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the point of this video is. It's just me venting. But if you've lost somebody lately, not fun. I mean, I was on the other end of this. I was on the ground shaking and crying on Saturday. It just overwhelmed me. And I think if anything you get out of this video is, if something overwhelms you, just kind of let it happen. You know, like all these men are like, oh, it's, you know, not macho to cry. Like Jesus cried, right? Like the alpha male of alpha males cried, you know, he's several times. So like, if it's, you know, come on, like get over it. So it's just, but wow. I was not expecting that when I asked if she had seen her lately. But no. So, and I keep saying so anyway. This is just a video just to, maybe somebody will watch this rant fest and it'll help them. I have no idea. But it has been quite a year. It really has. Yeah. Anyways. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. It's just, what can you do? It's just, what can you do? Anyway, comments, questions down below. Like, subscribe. I'll probably make another video soon. But this one really hit home. Anyway, talk to you in the next one.